on and was unveiled tonight. It might be my favorite title we've ever had.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Last thing for you. Are you already planting the seeds for the next crossover event, for if it's Secret Wars or what? Like, does Phase 4 start to plant the seeds for whatever we're going to see? Because we obviously saw Thanos, the whole Infinity Saga, the seeds were planted way early on.
Yes. We debated what we should announce today. Should we announce 4 and 5? We've planned them out. We've got 5 years down the road. And I was like, I think 11 projects in 2 years is plenty. Having not mentioned anything for two or 3 years.
But in the next phase, it leads to something. There's something that we're heading towards.
Well, it's what I love about the Marvel comic.
What is good, YouTube? Warshu here with a video in the comic book movie world. So if you're new to the channel, we do Marvel, DC and pop culture based videos, including video games, all week long. If that's the kind of channel you want, make sure to subscribe and also check out warshu.com. At the 100,000 subscriber mark, if we ever get there, I will be giving away a PS4 Pro or an Xbox One X with obviously Spider-Man PS4 Game of the Year Edition or Gears of War 5, maybe Game of the War Edition if they get it this year, potentially. If not, I will be giving away a PS5 or an Xbox One X Zinfandel if it takes me that long. But we recently hit 75,000 subscribers, which is pretty damn awesome. So I'm going to be traveling over the next 8 days or so to the 20-ish of October. So the video schedule is going to be a bit less, but I'm still going to be uploading daily. Just as timing will be a bit different. So thank you very much for spending a few moments of your day with me, and make sure to grab that subscribe button before we get
Secret
into today's
Wars
video.
Including Battle World, Avengers 5, Secret Wars. We know it's coming. It's pretty much been unofficially confirmed by Kevin Feige himself. The video clip I would have played before this video would have started with an interview just after San Diego Comic-Con. In an MTV News interview, Kevin Feige said yes, it's building up to something, but he couldn't say what he's on about. So everyone thought at San Diego Comic-Con that we would be getting the announcement of Avengers 5. Because let's be honest, movies don't make money unless they're team up. But what do you mean? Of course they do, Warshu. Captain Marvel made over 1 billion. Yes, they do. But no Marvel movie makes over 2 billion without a massive team up. Now, they can't go straight from Endgame, half the world being decimated, it being more violent than the Joker movie, because let's be honest, the Joker movie didn't kill half the universe, but Endgame did. But in the media, no one talks about how much more violent Endgame was compared to, the Joker, because, the Joker's DC and Endgame was Marvel, but that's a different story. So we know Endgame was a pretty decent movie. We know that. We know that Secret Wars will be coming. So also, recently, we've probably had the biggest reveal at the moment of what is coming next. So, a video game's being released, and no, I'm not talking about the old Ultron in the VR game. I'm talking about something completely different. So, Marvel Realm of Champions is introducing Battle World. Now, if anyone is a comic book fan, you will know Battle World was essentially a realm where they put every single character against every single villain. Now, they've not been able to do Avengers 5 Secret Wars because they didn't have the property rights, the movie rights to X-Men, Fantastic Four, Deadpool, etc. And they've only recently just got the rights back to Spider-Man, whom everyone seems to think is the secret movie, the team-up movie that he will be in. So, they're doing something with this video game called Battle World. It's not a new concept here, as Battle World was a rocky land almost devoured of life itself in its original Secret Wars event back in the 80s, and got a substantially return in a new Secret Wars miniseries. In that reboot, Battle World was a refugee planet, the sole world that had managed to survive a catastrophic war waged by Doctor Doom against the reality-ending forces of the Beyonder. Beyonder has been rumoured to be an endgame by multiple different creators, but the Beyonder wasn't there. The Beyonder is just too damn OP. But what this does show us is, we've had Marvel Zombies in Spider-Man Far From Home. We've also had Ultron return in a new, video game, VR game that they've released. So it is looking likely that this could be the case. So in this video game, players will be transported to a battle world, a forbidden planet behind the space-time barrier, where it's uneasy, peace is disturbed by the death of the god, king, maestro. This leads to a shattered relationship between the superheroes, including House of Iron Man, Spider, Guide, Spider-Man, Captain America, etc. By allying with one of the houses, champions will work together or alone to gather resources for their factions across the world torn battle world in an effort to sway control one way or another. So realistically, does this mean this is confirming Secret Wars Battle World? No, it doesn't, not at all. But there were leaks. I mean, let's be honest, guys, most of these leaks don't turn out to be true. But there were rumors that Battle World was coming. And this adds a little bit of validity. So the Russo bros, you know, they've made Civil War, you know, they've made Infinity War, Endgame. The Russo bros were asked during a Q&A back in LA back in November, back in 2018. The duo, famous for their work with Marvel, said they would only return if they could direct Secret Wars during an interview with Inverse. Now this is very interesting because obviously they've made 2 movies that grossed $2 billion. So obviously Marvel likes them. But we are some time away from this. But it is interesting what they had to say. So from this website I'm reading that right now, Screen Rant reached out to the writer due to the discussion of the prospect, and they were both totally into the idea. McFeely told the publication, if Joe and Anthony and Marvel want to do another movie and they don't have us write it, I will be personally offended. So they're basically saying here that the Russo bros aren't the only ones on board with the idea. Back in April 2019, Christopher Marcus and Stephen McFeely, the writing team behind Endgame, said they'd be more than happy to write the script for Secret Wars, and if Marvel didn't pick him, they would be offended. So the temporary return of Spider-Man in the MCU does mean a lot. It really does mean a lot, because now they can do Secret Wars. So the Sony and Disney reached a new deal, basically. And that's what was the hindering factor why they couldn't reveal Secret Wars was coming at San Diego Comic-Con 2019 back in July. That is what a lot of people seem to believe. So it would be interesting to find out what is actually going to happen. Is this movie Secret Wars? And also, Marvel did recently post a Secret Wars poster on their official Twitter page. So it is interesting. And, you know, the Avengers, Hawkeye, although Hawkeye actor in real life is in some trouble at the moment. The Fantastic Four, The Thing, the X-Men, Spider-Man, Spider-Woman, the Hulk all made an appearance in the Battle World Marvel. Imagine the series in 2015, but with a spin involving Deadpool. So Ryan Reynolds has recently had an interview or a meeting with Disney. He's publicly said that on his social media, so we know he's actually had talks to bring Deadpool to the MCU. Now, I'm still a bit unsure if they can bring Deadpool to the MCU, and I know that Robert Iger said they're not going to change Deadpool's persona, they're not going to change how he is, but are the House and the Mouse really going to let Deadpool swear like he did when it was a 15 in the MCU? I really hope they have a standalone movie that's got nothing to do with the MCU. So also, if you got to remember, there was this leak a while ago about Battle World. We'll briefly go over it in this. So over on Reddit, the Spoiler King, I don't like to call anyone a Spoiler King, so this is coming from Mikey Sutton, who realistically you can't really figure out if his stories are true until it actually happens. So he claims Marvel Studios is seeking to have Tom Holland appear in Secret Wars, whether this is a non-Spidey MCU film. In the agreement signed by both parties last night remains to be seen, but there is no doubt by anyone at Marvel's side that Spider-Man will be in Secret Wars. Not only that, but Marvel Studios is planning on having Spider-Man in a supporting role for the Fantastic Four. Reed Richards can be Peter Parker's new mentor. Now, I believe this is a fabricated story, and, you know, I do believe that. Why? Because the whole persona of Spider-Man at the moment, guys, is to get him away from having a mentor. He does not need a mentor. So a lot of people seem to think that this source is very credible, and I'm not going to discredit the source, but that I don't believe that source is true in this instance, because it doesn't really make any sense building Spider-Man character around an arc, having a mentor as Iron Man, then having him replaced as someone from the Fantastic Four. That is very weak if this is going to be the case. So The Battleworld story that was posted on Reddit a long time ago, it was a couple months ago now, was essentially said like the whole of Earth was going to be Battleworld, which it kind of would make sense, but I don't understand how there's Avengers 5 leaks coming out. There's leaks from every single right, left way. There's a leak for every single movie. I'm surprised there isn't a leak for the Blade movie yet, and they haven't even revealed that. I'm surprised there's not a leak for, you know, the Donald Duck movie that hasn't even been revealed yet. So it is interesting. So there's leaks. I'm trying not to cover them, but sometimes they do have some tidbits that could actually be true. So guys, let me know, do you think this new reveal from Marvel video game does mean that Secret Wars Battleworld is actually going to be coming to the MCU? But this is only a discussion video, guys. So like always, please like, subscribe, and comment, and I'll catch you in another video very soon. Catch ya later.